Hello, Robotics Notes fans. Happy September 15th. It is 2:32 in the morning, and welcome to another episode of Robotics Notes Elite, like Animal Crossing. Let's load the data. At the TNSC, there are areas accessible to the public and those that are restricted. The large rocket launch pad area has been off limits to outsiders since the last launch 4 years ago. The restricted area is closed off by an imposing gate. There are security guards stationed nearby 24/7. If I tried to sneak in, I'd be sent off to the cops. The microbus we're riding in stops right in front of that gate. As for why we're here, Akio's orders. We met up here on early Sunday morning, got on the Jackson microbus, and headed for where the H2 replica is. Our driver is the TNSC chief himself, who took this day off just to help out. Talk about getting the VIP treatment. When we get off the bus, the gate is right there. Just past it, we can see a half of a mid-sized rocket launch pad that was in use during the NASDA days. Just as I begin to wonder why we've been brought so close to a restricted area, Uncle Sinomia, after parking the bus, heads into the white building to the left of the gate. Bad reading today, everybody. I don't know why I'm stumbling. Everyone, over here! Akio waves the three of us, frowns in here as usual, inside. I suppress my yawn for the nth time. Have you been here before, Subaru-kun? I actually have. Did you know that the Space Center does visitor tours every day? They've been doing it for more than a decade. I was in one when I was little. This place is actually part of it. I've even been inside. The first Osaki office, despite the name, it was once used to assemble rockets. Now there's a portion of the used H2 rocket on display. Well, it's supposed to be. I know all of that. So you've been on the tour before? Yes, I have. Do you have a problem with that? No, not at all. Man, you're as high-strung as ever. Chill out. Subaru hurries ahead of me. How about you, Jun-chan? Have you been here before? Junna shakes her head powerlessly. I've never been all the way out here. She looks rather under the weather. Come to think of it, she doesn't seem like she's been having much fun lately. Hey, Jun-chan. Hey! You two get in here quickly! Akio loudly calls out to us from the building's entrance. Jeez, Madam President can be so impatient sometimes. I push Junna's back lightly and we head inside together. Once I step into the office, I swallow my breath. It's completely different from when I was here on the visitor tour. There are no rockets or no figures on display at all. It's almost completely empty. There's so much space. This is the Space Center. The ceiling feels impossibly high too. There's a giant crane hanging from up top. Cheating. You love to see it. I want foreshadowing, man. Whoa. It's the type of crane that can move back and forth along a track. Ceiling crane, eh? That'll make assembling prototype Model 2 a lot easier. Exactly. Akio stands in front of the three of us and puffs her chest in victory. That's why I asked Chief Sinomia to lend us this place. She didn't have to correct herself. Huh. So we can borrow this whole space? I inquisitively turn to Uncle Sinomia, who smiles and nods. It took a while to get permission, though. And of course, you can't go and use everything. Tenoji-kun will be back next month, so as long as there's staff supervising you, there should be no problems. Alright, listen up. This is where we build Gun Build 2. This time, we get to build it in standing position. Isn't that cool? Ugh, I'm getting hyped up. Here she goes, getting excited all on her own. Even Uncle Sinomiya is half grimacing and smiling. Hey, what's with the low energy? Aren't you feeling this? This crazy impulse building inside you? Aren't you guys gonna explode? Well, it's not like Model 2 is done. It's too early to get all super excited. Fine, yeah, I guess you're right. I get it. Akio begins to triumphantly nod her head for reasons I don't exactly follow. You guys can't just envision Gun Build 2 standing there, can you? Of course you can't. A robot begins its life by standing on this great planet, Gundam or otherwise. But rest assured, I've prepared what you might call concept art. Concept art? I have no doubts that he would say this if he saw it. I can see it. I can see the robot. Everyone, boot up Itaro. Huh? What's she going on about? Only then shall you see Gun Barrel. Is she saying that if I look through Itaro, I'll see Gun Barrel standing there? Well, I really wish Akiho's geotag wasn't in the way of this, because this would be a good screenshot. Oh, it's there alright. AR. Yup. Junna looks through her phone droid, steps back in shock. Even though it's only AR, she still seems scared. We used Gun Barrel's kill ballot model. Your idea totally worked, Kai. I suppose I did suggest something like this during our meeting over Model 2. That by using AR we could forego physically making it look like Gun Barrel. After all our complaining, Fraubo came through for us. The mechanics are simple. All I did was apply the special AR marker to where Gun Build 2 will be standing. This way, even if we're in the middle of assembly, we can see the complete gun barrel whenever we want. Once Gun Build 2 is complete, I plan to have AR markers that'll sync with limb movement, but this is fine for now. We'll have a good idea of how tall it'll be once it's finished too. The dimensions reflect the life-size dimensions, so although it's AR, it's set up for about 8 meters. If you're right below it, as long as you don't look up, all you can see are its legs. Well, doesn't it look rad? I'm quite impressed. What a fascinating idea. It looks rad, but that's all. Don't be a party pooper, Subaru-kun. Right. Perhaps, because she didn't receive the praise she was looking for, Akiho pouts. You're always acting so stoic. Are you trying to be cool or something? I'm not trying to be cool. Are you nervous? We're almost done with the blueprints. And we've solved most of the issues we put on hold from our first meeting. Plus, Tenoji-san called us to let us know that we'll probably be getting some extra funding. Really? It's pretty generous for JAXA. I didn't think we were that big of a deal. It kind of feels like they're overvaluing us or something. Irritated at Akiho's words, Subaru shakes his head from side to side. 6 months is not enough time to make a robot that big. And we're still stuck in the design phase. We haven't even come up with a solid solution for the drive system, which has been an issue since the beginning. An electrically controlled motor or a hydraulic motor, right? Hydraulic would be ideal, but it's stupidly expensive, and the circuit control would be impossible for an amateur. I'm gonna change my seating. Back to my squeaky ass chair. Now I'm gonna sit up properly with nice back abilities. In order to complete it in 6 months, we'd have to bring in a heavy machinery expert. Yeah, I get it. This issue was brought up during the meeting with Nason. In other words, they've made no progress since then. I know that an electrically controlled motor won't have enough power or energy like with Gun Build 1. Conversely, have you decided on everything else but that? Yep. Long story short, we decided on steel. It's cheap and durable. It's also easy to process. The disadvantage is its weight. And this is why the drive system is important. So, did Kona-chan end up agreeing to do the programming? There's no one else who can do it. I'll make her do it if I have to. Doesn't that mean it's still up in the air? One moment, please, everybody. Sorry about that. She really gonna be okay? I can also program, but it'd take more than 6 months. And how about the control system and the power source? As far as I'm concerned, these are the most important bits. I glance over at Junna to check her expression, but she still looks down in the dumps. It'll be remote controlled. Excellent. I do a mini fist pump. I just don't want to look death in the eye again. We'll be using a laser beam and batteries to power it. I know a manufacturer who makes laser power sources. I'm currently negotiating with him to see if we can get a friendly discount on one. Way to go, Chief! Think we can manage to get our hands on a CFRP too. It's gonna be pricey though. Space Candy has agreed to continue our sponsorship, so we'll manage to stay within budget. I hope. The detailed design work, like wiring, can be referenced from commercial hobby robots, so we can simplify that task. Of course, the size and weight will be a lot larger, so it won't be a copy-paste operation. I see, so the only thing that's left to decide is on the drive system, huh? If possible, I'd like to talk to Doc about the drive system. And also about the monodubly. So she hasn't given up on trying to use the monopoles, eh? By the by, I haven't been able to tend to my job of adjusting the antenna because I've been busy in the mornings. In other words, there's probably a bunch of monopoles all over the park by now. I got no solution for this issue. It's only a matter of time before someone else finds out about them. I'm banned from the robot clinic, but I don't know, like, maybe Super and Jun could go talk to him, or... By the way, Jun, you've been looking kind of under the weather today. Are you okay? Oh, yeah, Junna hangs her head low and bites her lip. Maybe there's something she can't say out loud. Now that I think about it, she was trying to say something to me outside earlier. She's been like this all day. Something on her mind? What's up? If you have something to say, don't hesitate to tell me. Just let it all out. We're all in the robot club, right? We're a team. Junna sighs lightly and slowly lifts her face. She points an inquiring gaze at each of us. I know this might not be the place for this, but, I didn't know when to say it, so Sorry, but I'll say it now, I guess. What's with all the apologizing? What is it? I want to quit. Someone's phone droid begins to ring, cutting her off mid-sentence. The sound echoes through the spacious room. I glance at my phone droid, but it's not coming from me. Aki, Subaru, Uncle Sonomiya all check their phone droids, but... Oh, it's me. I'm sorry. Junna apologetically turns her back to us and answers the call. Hello? Oh, Grandpa? Yeah, I'm a little... No, I'm having an important talk with everyone, right? What? Junna's face turns pale. What? Really? When? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She eventually ends the call in a daze. What's the matter, Jun? Junna slowly turns her back towards us. Her face is completely devoid of emotion. It's like her head is completely empty. Grandpa Fujita collapsed. Everything freezes for a moment. Heavy silence descends upon the large empty room. Part of this is because it took us a moment to recognize who she was talking about. We always just refer to him as Doc? Yeah, Doc. Junna Daituku POV. Get out of the car that Dad was driving. And swallow my breath. The last time I came here was 11 years ago. After hearing that Grandpa Fujita had collapsed, my family sent a taxi to take me from the space center to the hospital. He hadn't regained consciousness yet, so there wasn't much for me to do. I told my brothers to stay home. Dad and I decided to come here and grab a change of clothes for Grandpa for the time being. Watch my dad's back disappear into the shop while I stand in place, right where I got out of the car. I can't move forward. My knees are shaking. My legs won't move. I'm about to burst into tears. My heart is beating faster than usual. My back starts to uncomfortably sweat. And then, there's a suffocating pressure in my chest. I tell myself to breathe deeply. What were all these years of karate training for? I focus on my stomach. As long as I repeatedly take deep breaths, I can regain my cool. I can't. This can't be happening. It's actually getting harder for me to breathe. It's as if I'm standing on top of Mount... No matter how hard I try to breathe, the air doesn't fill my lungs. I hold my hand against my chest and close my eyes in pain. The events of 11 years ago all come flooding back to me. Memories I've been desperately trying to suppress for years. But now, it's as if they wrap themselves around my consciousness. I try to shake away the memories, but they won't leave me alone. They spin around endlessly in my mind. It was a hot summer day. I had just entered elementary school. My teacher and Grandpa Daituku, took me to visit the robot clinic. I was exploring the shop all by myself, and I wandered into that dark storage room. To this day, I don't remember how I ended up in there. I just remember that it was really quiet and hot inside. There were lots of robots standing next to each other. From a child's perspective, they looked gigantic. Their arms and legs were super thick. Their eyes large and bulging. They were sitting still, but it seemed like they could start moving at any time. It felt like they were watching me with their big eyes. But it wasn't the first time seeing those robots. I'd been to the robot clinic tons of times. I knew them all too well. But seeing them sit silently in this dark room, they were like completely different robots. I wanted to run out of the room, but before I knew it, I was lost inside of the dark space. I tried calling out Grandpa's name over and over, but nobody came for me. I wandered the dark storage room, half in tears, until I tripped over something and fell hard. This caused me to crash into a robot's foot. And then... Hello, my name is Yoshiro. I'm your friendly robot. The robot's eyes and mouth flashed eerily. Let's shake hands. Nice to meet you. I was thrown into confusion by the suddenness of the voice. I desperately attempted to escape, but that was my undoing. The robot had toppled down on top of me, was tremendously heavy. I was only 7 and nowhere near strong enough to move it aside. Hello, my name is Yoshiro. The robot repeated itself endlessly before my very eyes, its own eyes flashing as it painfully crushed me. Help me. I could taste the blood rising from the back of my throat. I wanted to cry, but the pressure on my chest was too much. I am your friendly robot. Help me, Grandpa. Nice to meet you. It's too heavy. Hello, my name is Yoshiro. Help. I honestly didn't know for how long I was under there, but it felt like I was stuck for hours upon hours. Nobody came to rescue me. I was alone with the robot that just kept repeating itself over and over again. Inside my mind, I screamed out that I was no friend of mine, over and over again. Finally, a light shone into the room and I heard others' voices, but by then I'd already given up on being saved. In a hazy state, I recognized my grandpa and some others hurry in. I don't know if I tried to call for help again. First thing I saw through my distorted, teary vision was Grandpa Fujita's livid expression. You idiot! What were you thinking? What have you done? What have you... I haven't been here since then. I couldn't. I was too scared. Scared of robots. And of Grandpa Fujita. Even 11 years later, I remain unable to step foot inside of the robot clinic. I squat in the passenger seat until Dad came back with Grandpa's stuff. And that is another episode of Robotics Don't Delete Like Animal Crossing. I will see you all tomorrow for another... Yep. That's it. No Chio! No Chio.